Welcome to the very first episode of Night Out Talk. In this channel, we talk everything about music, DJ, and nightlife. And for the first episode, we have DJ Stoon with us.
Thank you for having me.
S-T-O-O-N.
S-T-O-O-N.
That intro.
Very, very happy to be here. Honored to be your first guest,
Very first guest, yeah.
I really appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Let's rock. How do we meet? I think it's at Marquee, right?
I have no idea actually how we met.
I remember that,
It was at Marquee?
It was Aki's birthday and Aaron's
Yes, it was Aki's birthday.
But I know you like way before that on social media because you were playing Marquee every weekend before COVID.
Yeah, Lavo and Marquee were basically my home away from home. Like when I go to call an Uber, Lavo and Marquee come up before home. It's kind of sad, but also funny, But
how did you get there? Like that's everyone's dream, every DJ's dream,
I mean, it was a long journey, But the thing is that a lot of times people just see the results. They don't see the years and years of hard work and going out and networking and all that stuff, And in this world, you just see the results. You don't see the hard work. But it's essentially just going out, making friends, and being likable.
How many years did it take you to get there?
So I started dabbling in DJing when I was 16.
16?
Yeah, dabbling. And I say dabbling. Okay. My first official gig, I was 21. I took on as DJing full time when I was 25.
Oh.
I'm 37 now, so if you could do the math. I've been DJing full time for 12 years. I would say 12 to 15 years DJing. Wow, but it took about, I would say, I started in 2015. I was what? 28, yeah. 28. It took like a solid 5 to 8 years to get into. I don't think the math adds up, but yeah, something like that. It took a while. It feels like a while because before I got to Lavo and Marquee, I was playing pretty much every other club in the city for years. Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Around? Are they still around?
No. All those clubs are gone, or they're basically under a new name now. You know what I mean?
And Lavo just closed.
How do
you feel about that?
Very sad. I wouldn't be sitting with you right now if it wasn't for Lavo. Lavo basically helped shape my career. I actually played at Lavo way more than Marquee. Lavo was just basically my home away from home. I would used to play there 4 to 5 times a month.
4 or 5 times a month?
A month for like a solid 4 to 5 years.
That's every weekend.
Sometimes more than that. I remember because they also used to have Lavo brunch. I don't know if you ever heard of Lavo brunch. No. Lavo brunch, absolutely. I was on Saturdays from 2 to 6 p.m. and it was like one of the most aggressive parties I've ever seen in my life. But all in good fun, all good times. But there were nights where I remember there was one week I headlined on a Thursday night. Okay. I played support on a Friday night. This was all at Lavo. Went home Friday night at like 5 o'clock in the morning. Had to come back to play brunch from 2 to 6 p.m., then go home again, and then come back and play again Saturday night. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday brunch, Saturday night. 4 gigs in 3 days.
Well, I can't imagine.
Now you know why Uber is always like, you want to go to Lavo or do you want to go home?
It's same for me. It's Nebula and Zuma for me. Yeah.
Basically, yeah. Lavo is my Nebula for you. That's why I was a little sad when they closed. Hell of a run.
Oh, what happened? They're going to...
It's just, they're going in a different direction. I'm not sure what exactly it's going to be, but from, it had a great run. It was a very successful venue. Mm-hmm. It was a great time. It was a good time. I shed a few tears after my last. I played there for the last time, January 13, and I shed a few tears at the end of my set. I had to.
Is there any other Lavo in?
So the Lavo is essentially a restaurant,
right?
So from what I know, there's restaurants pretty much all over the world. They have one in LA, they have one in London. I think they're opening one, or it's already open in Mexico City. But I don't know if the actual Lavo nightclub concept itself is gonna. I'm not sure. I hope it does. A lot of good memories there. But
later on, you play more Marquee.
Now it's a lot more Marquee. Somewhere Nowhere is like my new main home now. I just came back from a residency at Baya in Tokyo.
Oh,
first time in
Tokyo.
Asia. It was incredible, life-changing. It's everything you expect and more.
Was it the first time you went to Tokyo?
First time in Asia altogether. First time
Did
in
you
Asia.
only go to Tokyo? Or
I only did Tokyo. I was in Tokyo for 3 weeks. It was amazing. It was everything that you would expect it to be and more. It's like a completely different world over there.
How's the energy there? Like, what kind of music do you appreciate?
So they love singing. They love their sing-along. So anything that you play that has vocals that people can sing to, they love. Anything. It could be Latin, it could be English. Latin? Yeah, they love their reggaeton. They love Bad Bunny, Maluma.
Really?
I'm
very surprised.
They love it. They love it. But again, it's a lot of energy. People go out to sing and dance and have fun. You get a lot of. There's not that much looking cute. You know what I mean? People just go out. But I also
it's like
went
a rave kind of vibe.
Yeah, the club that I played is like it's a night. It's probably the top nightclub right now, and I would say it's the top nightclub in Tokyo, and it's just energy. And I got lucky. I got booked New Year's Eve weekend, so I played Thursday, Friday, Saturday, then played New Year's Eve on Sunday, then slept for 2 days, and then played again. Yeah, of course.
What time do they close?
They close at 5. Their operating hours are like 11 to 5. My sets were 1 to 4. So those are 3 hour sets.
How many times did you play there in total?
I played 8 gigs in 10 days.
Well, how? Oh, New Year's Eve.
Yeah, so Thursday, Friday, Saturday, then New Year's Eve, and then the following week I did Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Going back soon? Like
hopefully at the end of August. Yeah, August, we're in negotiation now. We're talking. We're trying to. I would love to go there at least once or twice a year, just because I feel like I came back a better DJ.
Oh wait.
I feel like I've said that so many times.
Better DJ.
I came back a better DJ from Japan. I want that on the record.
Enlighten me.
I came back. It's just because the thing is, like, with New York is a very aggressive market. People in New York, they're very music savvy. A lot of music is made in New York.
True.
Some of the biggest artists come out of New York. Yeah. So automatically, when you have that, the DJs that come up, the people that go out to clubs, it's also huge. It's a big city, It's a lot. It's a lot of. New York is just New York, it's also when you're from New York, anywhere you go, everyone's like, oh my God, New York, like but it is what it is, it's what it is, and also when you play in New York a lot, you come to realize that when you go and play in other markets, it's very different. It's not better or worse, it's just different. People have this notion that because something is different, it's either better or worse. Not necessarily. Something can be different, you know what I mean? Like, it's different. It's just not, it's not what it is. It's completely different.
Also, earlier you mentioned that even within New York, like different clubs, you play different stuff, right?
Of course. I feel like every club is different. Every night is different. Every crowd is different.
Even like same night, same club, different time slots.
100%. Like when I told you when I played those Lavo Thursday, Friday, Saturday, every set was different because every night is different. Thursday, what you're gonna play on a Thursday is not gonna be what you're gonna play on a Saturday. Because the people that go out on Thursday night are not the people that go out on Saturday night. Exactly. Saturday you get the weekend warriors, I call them. People that work Monday through Friday, they stay home and order food on Friday to relax, and they go out and rage on Saturday. Thursday you get a lot more younger people that can afford going out during the week. Right. You get a lot of fashion people, you get a lot of athletes, music, the non-weekend warrior, a lot of freelancers, a lot of self-employed people.
Do they party harder?
They party hard, but they also, like the nightlife during the week is very limited. You get 12 to 2. After 2, it starts like trickling down. By like 3:30, you can easily just call it a night and go home. Yeah. Saturday, you can easily go until 4.
Easily,
sometimes past that. But
I don't know how some cities like DC, they close at 2.
I think DC goes until 3, but there are some. It depends.
Liquor license, maybe.
It's just I think besides New York, Miami, and Vegas, pretty much everywhere closes at 2 o'clock. I've played Boston, Philly. I've played in Arizona.
Arizona.
Yeah, I played at Barstool, Scottsdale.
Oh, Barstool?
It was a good time. It was a good time.
Do they have like Barstool bars, clubs? What happened there? It's like
remember Bounce? So it's kind of like Bounce, but much bigger space.
Bounce is closing too, is it?
Bounce already closed.
Oh wow!
But they're supposed to also to reopen. It's like it's the end of an era. There's a lot of clubs closing, a lot of new clubs opening, a lot of. We're in like right now we're in like a transition phase where a lot of places, old places. I mean, when I say old, they've been open for over 10 years, which is crazy for a nightclub. Like the usual lifespan.
Very successful.
Yeah, lifespan on a nightclub is like 3 to 5 years.
Oh, really?
That's being generous. Sometimes less.
I didn't know that.
Well, you got to know what you're doing. There's a big difference between throwing a party and being a venue operator. It's two completely different aspects of the game.
Very complicated business.
Very, very complicated. A lot of competition, a lot of expenses. Rent being one of them. As you know, rent in New York City is not much. There used to be some nightclubs back in the day that were like a lot more exclusive and all that stuff. But I feel like that's a fad. It's something that was just cool during that time frame. The world is a lot more open now. You see people of pretty much every kind of people are. When you're out, especially on a Saturday night, when you go out, you're gonna see just about everything. Especially in a city like New York.
True.
It's literally. I consider New York to be the capital of the world in terms of variety. There's literally people from every single country that you can even imagine. Countries that probably you and I don't even know about. My high school alone. I went to school in Brooklyn. My high school, we had 37 spoken languages.
37?
37 different ways of speaking English. So you can imagine it was nice because you learn a lot about the world. You learn a lot about the world. It was really nice. So, but yeah, man, like DJing is definitely something that I stumbled on. I was not the guy. I had no. I was a computer guy, and then I was into Taekwondo, and like it was a whole other life and. It was just something that I stumbled on, that I tried, that I loved, and I just feel like in life, when you stumble upon something that you can make a living out of, it's not a job, it's not work, it's fun. The work is what I have to do to get the gig.
True.
The actual aspect of DJing, that's not work. The day that starts feeling like work is the day I'm gonna stop DJing. But the actual aspect of getting booked, promote yourself, promote. There is this like stigma, where everyone wants to be a DJ, but nobody wants to promote. I never understood that because, okay, I'm a DJ, I'm not a promoter. Yeah, but you're promoting yourself.
True.
If you don't promote yourself, how do you expect another person to promote you?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You should be the first person to promote yourself.
100%.
I'm here sitting with you, I'm promoting myself. You're sitting there, you're promoting yourself. You have to promote yourself.
Yeah.
You have to you gotta tell the people who you are. You gotta sell yourself.
100%.
I think people get very caught up on the artistic aspect of DJing, which is beautiful. Art is beautiful.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, whether it's DJing, singing, acting, whatever you're doing, art is beautiful. But
to get heard,
the second you want to get paid for art, art goes out the window.
Crazy. Get paid for art.
Getting paid, art goes out the window. Now it's not art. Now it's business. Now it's like, okay, who are you? What kind of revenue are you gonna generate?
Club open to make money.
Exactly. We're all in this to make money. Yeah. At the end of the day, we're all in this. If it's a private party, it's a different story. Wedding, bachelorette, whatever it is you're doing, that's a different story. That's you get hired for a private event, you're essentially a jukebox. You're gonna play whatever the person hired you on.
Yeah.
But when you play at the club, it's different. You gotta play what's gonna make money in that particular club, on that particular night, for that particular crowd. Yeah. That's why I think it's very important to have the biggest repertoire of music possible. People are very adamant about, I'm only in deep house, Afro house, hip hop. Like when it's very, here's the thing. If you're gonna limit what you're gonna play, then all you're doing is limiting where you're gonna play. You know what I mean?
Right.
So why would you wanna do that? You know what I mean? And it's also like the way you approach a nightclub set is very different how you approach a set at a festival or at an event space, or at a place like
Warehouse.
Brooklyn Mirage, or a warehouse, or a Van Garner, or you know.
You played Izu.
I played Izu.
How was that?
It was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. It was very, you know, I got to open main stage on Sunday, and it was nice because I went to the very first Izu 10 years ago. Very first Izu. It was completely different, you know, back then than what it was this time. And you know, it's just nice to have these little accomplishments, little wins, you know, because it keeps you motivated, keeps you pushing, it keeps you hungry. You know, I think the most important thing is you have to always be hungry, because the second you're not hungry, the second you're comfortable, you're only gonna start perishing. You know, you're only gonna start. You get too comfortable. You're not gonna get anywhere.
How did you approach your Izu set? Is it different than?
I made sure that every single song I played was either one of my edits or remixes, because I feel like that's the stage to Stoon is playing. Who is Stoon?
Right.
You know what I mean? That was basically my way of saying, okay, I have a 1 hour set, 1.5 hour set. You know, and especially like opening main stage, I was essentially playing as people were coming in. You know, by the end of my set, I had, you know, a couple of thousand people in front of me.
That quick to fill that quick?
Of course, yeah, of course. People love to get early.
Some people couldn't get in later on, right?
There were a lot of drama and stuff, but there's no point in really getting into that. It's things you can't control, you know what I mean? I actually started my set a little bit later than anticipated, but there's no need to get into that. It's just, I got to play Izu.
How about sound system and, you know, the visual stuff like
amazing.
that?
It's amazing. It's a different. But that's what I was trying to say earlier, is that like the way you approach a nightclub set is completely different than how you approach a festival set. Right. Festival, you have 1 hour, an hour and a half. You're gonna go boom, 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 play as much as possible. Next act comes in, they do the same thing over and over. But when you play a nightclub, you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't play a nightclub the way you play a festival. The biggest DJs in the world, I mean, we can name all of them if you want, all of them. When you see them at a festival and then you see them at a nightclub, it's two completely different sets.
Different sets.
It's different set. It's a different space. There's a time and place for every song ever made. I have this quote in my press kit. That's how I end it. It's a time and place for every. Yeah, the way you're gonna play a bar is not the way you're gonna play a lounge. The way you're gonna play at a restaurant is not the way you're gonna play at a club.
Yeah.
Completely different.
I totally agree, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if somebody's sitting down and eating, you're not going to play the same type of music that you're going to play at Marquee at 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Two completely different vibes. You know, and it's also very important, like, especially when you have, like, the way now nightlife is going, where you have multiple DJs a night, 3 to 4 to 5 to 6. I think it's very important to remember what time you're playing.
True.
The 10 to 11 slot is not the same as 11 to 12. It's not the same as 12 to 1. It's not the same as 1 to 2. Every time slot is different.
Very different.
And what a lot of young DJs fail to understand is that just because you come in at 11 o'clock and you play the top 10 songs at Beatport and it sounds good, it doesn't mean that it's good. It's not good. It's not what it's. That's not the time. People are just walking in. They're sober. They need some nostalgia. They need some groove to keep them going. They don't want to hear the biggest song. Yeah. You know what I mean? In Billboard or in the charts at 11 o'clock. Like that. The hits need to be saved for later. You know, 100%. But I understand the mindset. It's like, oh, I'm given an hour. I need to play the best possible.
People.
I need to impress. That's not how you impress.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can play. There's so much music out there. There's so much music. And every song now, especially nowadays, every song has like 1 million remixes. 100%. You can take a song that you really want to play, but you can find the right remix for 11 to 12. Yeah. The right 100%. Edit, the right mashup. And if you don't find it, you can make it. You know what I mean? You can go. That's another thing that I think is very important. I think it's very important for every DJ to have some sort of production under them, because, you know, you don't necessarily have to be a producer, but you have to kind of always find a way, because that's what I love to do. I love to take a song and make it mine. You know what I mean? I'll take that song, I'll chop it up, I'll add things, I'll take away things, I'll change the arrangement to make it fit into the way I play, the way my set is.
Well, when did you start producing, like using Ableton?
I started playing, I'm on Ableton. I started probably, I want to say, 2012, 2013.
That's early years.
Yeah, very early, because it goes hand in hand. DJing and producing go hand in hand.
Yeah.
You know, you have DJs, you have producers, you have people that do both. I chose to do both.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't released anything original, which is, I'm to blame for that. It's all my fault. I take full responsibility for that. You know, the only excuse I can come up with is I'm still trying to find a sound that defines me. You know what I mean? That defines the Stoon brand. But at the same time, you know, just because I haven't released an original, it doesn't mean that I don't take other people's music and make it my own and present it in a way like, okay, here are the vocals from one song. Here's a beat you don't know. I'm going to put these two together and play them and mash up. And now you're hearing the song, but you're hearing it in a different way. And I think that's what, you know, that's what differentiates the DJs. You know, you have all these like record pools, which are great. I love record pools. You know, I use record pools. Yeah, I have Zip DJ, DJ City, Headliner Music Club, Digital Music.
At the same time?
No, you don't. Not at the same time. But I was just listening. Like, where I'm a big. It depends on like each record pool is good for a certain genre of music. You know, so it's important to have a few. You know what I mean? It's important to know that like sometimes you'll find something in one but not in the other. But at the same time, you know, you wanna have a variation. True. You know, you don't have to be a hip hop DJ to play hip hop. You could be an Afro house DJ but still know how to play hip hop. I started off as house music. I started playing house, electro, progressive, tech before tech became so, you know, popular. But then I hit a roadblock. I started realizing that this is like around 2014, 2015, there was a much bigger demand for hip hop. Right. You know, trap, hip hop was starting to become very. It became mainstream. Skrillex, you know, Skrillex, Future, Drake, and all that stuff. You know, then I was like, all right, I have to learn it, because I need it for the gigs. Right. But what I also didn't realize at the time is that learning how to be a hip hop DJ and how to play hip hop and how to play hip hop properly, not just like echoing out between songs, how to properly blend the songs. I never really learned the scratching just because it wasn't something that I was curious about. I'm more of a blender, putting songs in key, flawlessly flowing together. You know, I love transitions. I love going as seamlessly as possible between songs. I mean, you've heard me play. You know, what I realized afterward is that I basically became a much better house music DJ after I learned how to play hip hop. And I'll tell you why. Hip hop is fast transitions. True. You have about 2 to 5 seconds to go from song to song. House,
it can take.
You have a solid 30 seconds to a minute to beat match and to bring the song in slowly. So essentially, when you learn how to blend and mix between songs within 2 to 5 seconds, when you go back to playing house,
it's a slow motion.
Essentially, you're a DJ now in slow motion. But that's what opens the door to using effects, doing all this stuff. It's like now you played the song, you be matching. They're both playing at the same time. Now you could do all the effects and all the all the effects and all the extra things. All it is, it's extra. It's very important to remember that the transition is the most important part. Going from song A to song B as seamlessly as possible, that's the most important thing. You know, DJing, it is gonna sound kind of funny, but DJing for me is kind of like making pizza. And this is why. When you make pizza, there are 3 main ingredients. You need dough, you need tomato sauce, and you need cheese. If your dough and tomato sauce and cheese are very good, then you could put any toppings that you want.
True.
But if your dough and your tomato sauce or cheese, if those 3 main ingredients are not good, you can't be putting caviar on top. You can't be putting Wagyu beef. You can't be putting these like fancy effects, extra things. Because now what you're doing is that you're putting all these extra things on something that doesn't taste good. You know what I mean? So now you're train wrecking and you're trying to cover it up with echoes and reverbs and all these effects, and it sounds bad. You know, it doesn't sound good. So I think it's important to always go back to basics. Always go back to basics.
Yeah.
Basics are like, and this is with everything, you know, whether it's DJing, whether it's studies or, you know, work, martial arts. I know you're a martial art guy. Back to basics. Basics, fundamentals are very, very important.
Totally agree.
You know what I mean? You have to have that mindset that if your basics are not good, it's just like building a building. If your foundation is not good, one day it's gonna collapse. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I don't mean necessarily collapse like you're gonna collapse in the DJ booth, but you're just, you know, over time. Yeah, you know, the drinking is, you know, that's on you. You know what I mean? Here's the thing: you can drink, you can do whatever you want, as long as there is some type of balance. True. You know what I mean? Always a lot of things in life, you know, you need balance. If you don't have balance, you have nothing. You know?
I totally agree on the DJing part, where I believe like sound selection is the single most important stuff that we talk about, and then use a very basic, the most clean transition, nothing fancy. Just select the right song, make this transition, and take people to a journey.
Of course, it has to be a journey.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
When I teach my students, I show them how to make transitions. They're like, oh, it's that easy? It is that easy, but how do you pick the next song? How do you know, make it consistent and play 2 hours? That's the hard part.
Of course. Well, there's also like a lot of what people don't understand is that like all you see is the DJ playing music, whereas in reality, the DJ is
processing a million
things. Is in the future. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you're listening, the song that is being played at the club right now, the DJ already heard it 1 or 2 or sometimes even 3 songs ago, 5, 10, 15 minutes ago. So a DJ is always kind of in the future. When you're DJing, the crowd is hearing something, but you're already into the next song, and sometimes 100%. The song after that, and the song after that, and that's why I think it's important to find, you know, songs that go together to create like a seamless transition. You know, between all three. You know, a lot of songs have the same key, same vibe, same wordplay, same. You know, again, that's the beautiful artistic part of it, is that there's no like, this is how you DJ. This is how it needs to be. You have to use this. No, you don't. No, you don't. You gotta take from here, take from here, take from here, take from here, take from this guy, take from this, and create your own little way. You know what I mean? Yeah. You can create your own stuff. You can take from this one, take from that one. But I think it's important to remember that your end result needs to sound similar and different. People need to recognize it. But you also have to bring in your individuality.
Yeah, how would you describe your music style? I know you play different genres, but
all over the place. Again, back to my original point. It depends where I'm playing. You know, I made it my goal that I refuse to pick one genre and stick to it. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that because that's just not who I am. You know what I mean? I can play a 6-hour hip hop set, or I could play a 6-hour Afro house set, or I could play a 6-hour tech house set. I could do a 6-hour techno set, or I could do a 6-hour Stoon set where you're gonna hear pretty much everything under the sun, you know, in a creative way. You know, what do I lean more towards? Of course I lean towards house, but I love hip hop. And especially with technology and the way music advances, is that you have house remixes of hip hop songs, so you can, and that's kind of like where I tend to lean a little bit. I love taking, you know, hip hop, rap songs, and kind of presenting them in a house music way. You know what I mean? Gotcha. But at the same time, because the problem is you can't go backwards. You can't have a hip hop remix of a house song. It just doesn't, you know, you can't really do it. You know, I mean,
never heard of that
yet. You never know. Maybe tomorrow it'll be. But you could take a house beat and turn it into a hip hop beat. You know what I mean? But a hip hop song it's pretty final. You know, any remix of a hip hop song is essentially another rapper coming on, adding another verse, or changing the beat completely. You know what I mean? That's why I tend to always lean more towards house. But again, if I'm playing a nightclub, you know what I mean? Especially nightclubs with bottle service and all that stuff, you have to be able to read the room. And that's one thing that there's no way to read the room. There's no way to there's no way to read the room. There's no way to learn that. That's something that you only learn over time.
But to be fair, like when I look at this, how to read a room, Simple way of me doing this is if one song works, I pick something similar and do that.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. But see, that's a very good strategy. However, what I've noticed is that sometimes some DJs, they'll play the song and then they play something similar and then they play something similar and then they play something similar and then it's like 10 songs, they all sound the same.
Gotcha.
Now the crowd is bored because it's like, all right, we've heard 10 songs that have, I don't know, the same vibe. That's how you can easily lose a room that way.
True.
You know what I mean? So the way I look at it, when you play a light club, you have to play in waves. You build, you get to the top, and then you bring it down. You have to bring it down.
How do you bring it down?
You bring it down. I'm gonna say this. I might get crucified for it, but that's totally okay. Sometimes I play songs that I know the crowd is not gonna like.
You do?
Yes, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
I use them as a transition to give them a break. Whether it's from dancing, they gotta go grab a drink, buy another bottle, go to the bathroom. People need a break. Okay. You know what I mean? And I don't mean necessarily they're not gonna like. It could be a song that just came out, or a song that I know they're not gonna know, or a song that maybe just a small portion of the crowd is gonna know. But I use it as like a transition to kind of go from one vibe to another, reset the room, reset. I think it's very important to reset the room. Very important.
That's something I'm learning today.
I'm still learning it too. You know what I mean? Like every time I finish a set, someone's like, "Oh my God, you killed it! It was amazing." I'm like, I'm still learning. I'm still learning, and I will always continue learning, because the day you stop learning is the day you start failing.
Especially music, new genres.
Of course, you always have to learn. If you're not learning, what are you doing? You have to you gotta walk away from. That's why I said earlier I came back from Japan a different DJ, a better DJ, because I learned so much about how they play music over there, and then I came back and I kind of like included that into my sets in New York, and then all of a sudden I'm getting much bigger reactions than I did before the Japan trip. It's very minor things.
Japan.
Huh?
I need to go to
I think you'd love it. I think you'd love it. It's very minor things. It's not like I came back like, oh my God, now I can finally DJ. It's not it. It's just I came back, I feel better.
A reset for yourself, maybe.
Huh?
A reset for yourself.
It was a reset, but it was also very educating. Like, it's always very important to try and play different markets, because every market is different. Everybody's different, you know? Commercial music here is not commercial music in Japan. It's not commercial music in Morocco.
What do they listen to, like?
They love
on their
pop.
Radio?
They love pop
like,
over there.
Like
pop. Like
United
pop.
States kind
like
of
pop? Yeah, like sing along. You know that song Water by, I think, Tyler? Yeah. So I never played that song in my life.
What?
Didn't even hear it until I went to Japan.
Really?
Yeah.
You should check out the Marshmello remix. It's very good. Yeah. Marshmello. Yeah.
And it's crazy because I don't, you know, it's there's so much music out there that I find it very hard to stay on top of everything.
True.
It's very hard. You know what I mean? Like, I can name 10 songs right now that I play in my sets that are bangers that you're not gonna know, and you could probably name 10 songs that you play in your sets that are bangers. Sandstorm, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's gonna be my wedding song. But yeah, it's very important to be different.
True.
But again, you want people to be able to relate to what you do.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, it's not I don't want to say there's no right or wrong way, but there's no like definite way to DJing, to getting gigs, to you know, to being relevant. It's just you got to do something.
Oh, you mentioned getting gigs. That's something that, you know, most DJs ask me all the time. Like, how do you approach that? Getting gigs. What do you think about that?
Well, here's the thing. Think about it. If you have to think about it. You have to think about it from the person who's booking you.
True.
You know what I mean?
Right.
If someone's gonna book you, you have to be.
What can you bring?
Why should they book you? What can you bring to the table? The more you bring to the table, the higher the chance you're gonna get booked, the higher your pay, also the more frequency you're gonna get booked. That's why you gotta promote yourself. You gotta
network.
You gotta network. Essentially, it's networking, because nobody's really booking strangers.
Never.
Nobody's gonna go on Google and type who are the top DJs in New York City. Nobody's gonna do that. You book your friends. You book your friends' friends. You book big DJs that you know are gonna sell your club,
right?
But you're not booking strangers. You're not reaching out to someone that you've never heard of, never heard play. You just saw a picture and you're like, oh, I want to book them. Nobody really does that, you know? So I think it's important to be relevant. It's important, very important to go out and network. Very important, very important. It's very difficult to do that if you also have a day job and, you know, you can't really be out late. I mean, weeknights are the best nights to network.
True.
Monday through Thursday, the clubs are not so busy. It's easier to make friends with management, with other DJs, with staff. It's very important.
People,
if you want to play at a club, you got to go to that club. You know,
I can't agree more.
You can't. Like, they're not gonna come knocking on your door and tell you come play for us unless you're already established.
Go a lot. You know, talk to everyone.
Out. I went to Lavo every single Thursday for 1 whole year.
A DJ. Oh my God.
Every Thursday for a whole year before I got my first gig. And I didn't ask for anything for that whole year. Why? Because I had a mission. I was like, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna make friends with everybody, every single person that works there. Because that way, by the time I got to the talent booker and being given an opportunity, I already put myself in this position where everybody knows who I am and everybody likes me.
Were you DJing somewhere already?
I was already playing all the other places. But again, I'm not saying you have to go to every single club for a year before you get booked. Maybe all you gotta do is go 1 time or twice or 10 times. It varies, you know. It's just because Lavo was a club that was in very high demand. They had a lot of residents. They had a lot of people playing there, and they had even more people wanting to play there. So now I look at it as like, all right, this is the reality of it. If I want to get in here, I got to do something different.
True.
So I chose to do it the hard way, which is I'm going to go there. I'm going to make friends with everyone. I'm going to go for a whole year, plant my roots, grow my tree, and wait for the opportunity. Opportunity came. I took advantage of it, and then they just hired me as one of the residents.
Got it.
You know, and I think that's comes back to the whole point of comfort zone. A lot of people are so stuck in their comfort zone. They don't understand that being in your comfort zone, you're not doing anything.
Making progress.
If you want results that you've never had before, you have to do things that you've never done before.
Bars.
And that's with everything in life too. You know, but focusing on DJing, you want to play somewhere, go to that club.
Learn
what
other DJs.
Buy a ticket and go. Pay a cover and go. Go inside and make friends.
Talk to the DJ.
Talk to the DJ. Make friends with the doorman. Make friends with this. Next time you come, you might not have to pay to get in. Now you're saving money. You know, it costs money to network, and that's another thing.
Yeah.
You have to spend money. Yeah. Cabs, food, drinks, cover, tickets.
It's all like an investment.
It is an investment. It is an investment. You know, the same way you invest into your education. You pay a school, you go and you get a degree. You know what I mean?
Sure.
The same exact way. You have to spend money to get things that you want.
Yeah.
100%. You know what I mean? There's no, if you want handouts, that's on you.
Yeah.
Then you gotta wait your turn. You gotta wait to get lucky. You gotta wait for the opportunity. You're basically like you're all you're doing is you're decreasing your chances. You know, you have to get out of your comfort zone. You have to do things like, I'm planning to go out tonight. I don't have a gig. I'm gonna go out and network. I haven't done it in a while. I'm gonna go out and see what's out there.
Yeah.
What am I gonna go? I have no idea. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna leave the house and I'm gonna go out. That's the beauty about New York, is that you can go
close
out.
Everything. Right?
There's so many places to go. You know what I mean? And you don't necessarily have to like go to places where you want to DJ and all that stuff. You can just go to like random bars and all that stuff, and you make friends. Now, what do you do? I'm a DJ. Oh, where do you play? Oh, I play here. Oh, let me know next time you're playing. I want to come see you. Sure, here's my number. Here's my Instagram. Boom.
Right.
Takes 10 seconds.
Best city.
You know, everybody wants to go to see the DJ. Everybody wants to go see their friend play.
True.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, this is what it is now. The nature is that DJs are the biggest draw. You know what I mean? From the small ones to the big ones, people are a lot more inclined to go out to see someone
who
DJ know. That they know.
Yeah.
You know, people go to places for people, not for places.
Right.
You know what I mean? If I tell you, yo, Johnny, come through tonight, I'm playing here, or I'm going here, I'm doing here, you're gonna be like, all right, cool, I'll come.
Doesn't matter where.
Same way you hit me up, be like, oh, I'm doing a podcast. I'm not here for here, I'm here for you, because you're the one that invited me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People have much higher tendency to go places to see others.
Yeah, 100%. I can relate. I have a couple like DJ students, right? Whenever I bring them out to play for the first time, it's crazy how many people they can bring to the club. Oh, same way that you got me to play a marquee the first time.
Yeah.
There's a new venue for me, so all my friends showed up.
Of course.
80 people.
Of course, yeah. You did great that night. You did a very good job. And I think it's very important to also like to promote to your friends, but you also have to step out of that.
True.
Because if your friend comes out to see you DJ once a month, that's a very good friend. Once a month is a very good friend. Once a year is also a very good friend. Believe it or not. No, it is. It is. It is. I'll take it. If you're going to come out to see me once a year, I'm okay with that.
True.
But what's important is in order to grow and increase your following is you have to constantly
100%.
promote yourself to new people.
Yeah.
Promote yourself to your friends. Promote yourself to your friends' friends.
Yeah.
Make direct contact with people that you come across at a club.
Yeah.
You finish a set, someone gives you a high five for playing a good job, for playing well, doing a good job. You give them a high five back. You exchange Instagrams. Let me know next time you want to come out. I'll put you on my guest list or grab a ticket or whatever it is. But that needs to kind of almost become second nature. That constant networking, that constant promoting yourself. Because at the end of the day, if you really think about it, when you're playing at a club, you never really know who's listening.
True.
You never know who's in the room.
Yeah.
And when you play these top clubs, chances are there's somebody important in the room. There's somebody important listening. You never know. I've had instances where I've met some very key and important people just by luck of the draw. But again, you have to put yourself in these positions.
Right.
You have to put yourself in these positions to succeed. It's a constant grind. There's no all right, I made it. The second you say that, that's it.
True.
Yeah. It's very important to, how do you say it? To just constantly find different angles. I'm sitting here doing this podcast, and I'm already I'm telling you things, but I'm also
brainstorming.
It's a constant. Yeah. The only time I'm not brainstorming is when I'm sleeping. I think, you know what I mean. But yeah, it's very important to do that. You want to be able to. You want to be able to know what your end goal is. Mm-hmm. You want to know. You have to take that goal. That big goal. You take that big goal.
Take steps.
Yes, break it down into 10 small goals that are achievable within a few days or a few weeks or a few months.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with dreaming big. Dream big, of course. Have a big goal. Right? Have a big goal. I want to be Tiesto. Okay, great. But Tiesto didn't become Tiesto overnight or in 6 days or 6 weeks or 6 months or 6 years. That man's been relevant for years and years and years.
He's 55 something?
He's up there. But it's also like Tiesto, for example, or Armin van Buuren, or any of these, or John Summit. Yeah. It's not just one person.
Yeah.
Tiesto is a brand. It's hundreds of people. It's marketing, branding, social media. It's a lot of people. Like when Tiesto performs, there's hundreds of people behind him.
Producer.
No, you said it, not me. Again, of course, yeah, producers everywhere. It's a whole thing. But I'm not saying go out there and hire hundreds of people to work with you, but put yourself in the position for that to happen. If that's your goal, take that goal and chop it down to 10 or 20 or 30 realistic goals that you can accomplish quick. Reason why you want to do that is because when you have a small goal and you accomplish it, you know what I mean? You're motivated, you're excited.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And it's like martial arts.
Right.
Imagine you had to go to karate or taekwondo or whatever, and imagine it was either white belt or black belt. And you have to wait 5 to 10 years to get that black belt. I think that's probably how it used to be back in the day. But, that's very hard.
Yeah.
But in order to stay motivated, you have all these different belts that you go through. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And the more belts, the easier it is. And I think you could take that same concept and apply it to DJing and you know, there's no shame in like, I was playing bars, I was playing hookah lounges with like 5, 10, 12 people. I've done that. I've done that for a long time. I have no shame in that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everyone's got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the thing is, when you start that way, again, we go back to my original point, you build a foundation. You know? Go play at a restaurant.
Right.
Oh, it's boring, nobody's dancing. Yeah, but there's less pressure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Of getting the energy going, of getting people to spend money.
No, yeah.
You know what I mean? I've played restaurants many times back in the day, and essentially, like, you're playing and you're looking at the crowd, and you're looking for that head nod between bites. You know what I mean? If someone like kind of head, that means you're doing a good job.
Yeah, I used to play at Zuma for a whole year every weekend. It's my favorite bar, restaurant, because they appreciate like not underground music, but music not mainstream.
Right.
Like mysterious, like Afro house, melodic techno.
Yeah.
And you know,
But did that make you a better DJ?
100%.
Yeah, you need deck time. You have to be, and the thing is, you can play in your bedroom all you want. You know, I'm someone that I didn't learn in my bedroom. I learned at the clubs. You know, I mean, of course, I practiced at home and all that stuff, but I didn't practice. Like when I was practicing at home, I was already playing at the clubs. You know, I was given the graveyard 3 to 4 slot to play because, you know, I brought a lot of people, I had a big following, all that stuff, you know, but, you know, you gotta balance the two. You know, when you play in your bedroom, it's good, you have less pressure.
Yeah.
But when you play in front of a club, it's a completely different ball game. You know what I mean? There's pressure, can't really make mistakes. You make a mistake, you know, chances are, you know, you might not get booked again, you know?
You mentioned social media earlier. Do you think like social media is like kind of name card portfolio for DJs?
100%.
How do you leverage social media to build a brand?
I mean, here's the thing. When someone reaches out now, like for a booking, and if they ask like for a press kit or whatever, generally first thing I send them is like my social media, you know? I think it's important, your Instagram or your Facebook or whatever it is, generally
not Facebook.
Yeah, Instagram is like it's like your resume.
Right. 100%.
You know, as a DJ, when someone goes to your page, you know, you got to be able. They have to have the ability to know who you are just from looking at your page. Yeah. And I'm a big less is more guy.
Yeah,
less is more. Less is more. You don't need to have 500,000 pictures. You don't need to have 500,000 stories and highlights and all this stuff, because when you have so much content, people are less inclined to go through it. True. You know. True. I try to keep like my pictures in my news feed to less than 50. Now it's at like 30 something. Because, you know, I'll look at stuff like, this is really good, but this is better. This is more who I am. So I'm gonna get rid of, I'm just gonna archive it. I don't say delete it, just archive it. You know, like there is a picture of a crowd shot from behind from Lavo from 2016. I archived it years ago. In January, I brought it back because now it's a nostalgia. You know what I mean? Now when you go to the last pictures on my Instagram, you see a crowd shot from Lavo from 2016.
Yeah.
You know, it had value when I posted it.
Yeah.
Because it was from Halloween, the room was packed, it's like nicely lit, and my hands are up, it looks really nice. But then after a few years, I got much better content. So I archived it.
Right.
Now I brought it back. Why? Because now Lavo's closed. Now the picture has a little bit more value because you know it's lower quality, so it has a little bit more value. But again, it's the last picture on my profile. So if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you see, wow, this guy's been doing this, you know, regularly since 2016.
Right.
So that's why
it's like a resume to prove that.
It is.
You know.
It's exactly what it is. It's a resume. It's a timeline of your DJ career.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Less is more.
Yeah.
You know, but again, don't post once a month.
Right. I should post more.
Yeah. Post as much. There's no right or wrong formula. You know what I mean? Because it depends on how many followers you have. It depends on how often you DJ, what, you know, what else, like what else you bring to the table and all that stuff, you know, besides, you know, I love to cook. So a lot of my posts, Chef Stoon, a lot of my posts sometimes are food pics. I also love to travel. You know, a lot of my posts are traveling. But again, it's very important. The best way to manage content is to know what works. And just because something doesn't work right now, it doesn't mean it's not going to work a few years from now. We don't know. We don't know what the future holds. Yeah. You know, we're heading towards a whole world of AI where everything is just so programmed and all that stuff. Yeah. And it's intriguing, and people are like investing into it, and they're more into it. But I have this thing that like, I have this idea that I feel like one day is gonna come where, you know, some of the old stuff is gonna have a little bit more value. Back, you know, a grainy picture, blurry, is gonna have a little bit more. It's gonna become art in a way.
What would you say to the new DJs how to build a social media? Like I would say, you know, if you go to the new gig, get a lot of videos and pictures out of it.
Of course, right? 100%. I think if you're new and you're trying to break into the scene, you it's a numbers game. Yeah. Get as much content as possible, right. You know. But it's also important to filter through that content. You know, recognize what works,
will stand out to someone.
Will stand out. Right? And let that go first, you know. I used to make this big mistake where let's say I have a gig, I get like pictures and videos. I used to make a big mistake where I will take the best pics and videos and I'll be like, let me save this for like a much bigger. Yeah. I don't do that anymore.
Okay.
When I have a show, best picture is gonna get posted. The best video is gonna. I just did like a post the other day where I posted like 10 videos from my marquee show, and my boy DM'd me, my boy Brian, was like, "Yo, you emptied the whole clip. Like you just posted literally all the bangers." I was like, "I did." I'm like, I usually always hold off. I held off some. But it's like, well, this is something that like now I do on the regular. Gotcha. So there's no reason to hold anymore. I'm gonna play marquee again. I'm gonna play somewhere nowhere again. Right. So that's why it's important to go through all the content. That's why like I despise when I hire like someone to shoot content and they send me 300 pictures and 200 videos. Bro, I am not about to go through 300 pictures. Just give me 10. 20, 30 at the most. If you send me 30 bangers, I'll probably pay you extra. If you send me 10 or 20, I'm very happy with that.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, because it's less is more. I much rather have 10 amazing pictures than have 300 pictures and most of them are the same. Right. One is like this, one is like this, one is like that. Like, no, there's no reason to. Yeah. You know, it's I want just enough. And I want it to be exactly what I want it to be, you know, exactly that angle, exactly that at that moment, right. You know? And, you know, as an up-and-coming DJ, you definitely want to, I mean, I'm still up-and-coming in my mind, you know? I mean, I'm always going to be up-and-coming. You know, no, it's not just humble, it's just, you know.
The mindset.
Yeah, because I'm always learning. I'm always learning, I'm always up-and-coming. But I want to be up-and-coming forever. I want to be up and coming until the day I retire. I'm not trying to be Tiesto. I don't want to be that big. I want to be the best possible version of Stoon. That's what I want to be. I don't want to be, you know, the next like this. Oh, the next John Simon, the next Dom. No, I don't want that. I don't want to be the next of anybody. I want to be the best version of myself. Yeah. I want to be what I want to be. What Stoon is. Right. What is Stoon? Who is Stoon? Yeah. That's what my focus is, you know. I feel like people spend so much time comparing, which in the end ends up hurting them. Like I see what others are doing. I'm always watching. Right. I watch what you do. Yeah. I watch what others do. I watch what DJs that are bigger than me do. Even watch DJs that don't know I'm watching them. I watch because I learn. I learn from their mistakes. I learn from things that they do good. Yeah. I've actually learned more from other people's mistakes than I've learned from my own. Not to say that I didn't make mistakes. Of course, we all make mistakes and I learn from them. But I love learning from other people's mistakes. Yeah. Because I see people doing something, I'm like, wait, they did it this way. It looks like, you know, it's not working. Yeah. So I'm going to try to avoid doing that. Right. You know, it's important to take a little bit from everyone, and find a creative way to put it together. Like, again, there's no like, okay, if you want to be a policeman, you got to go to the police academy. If you want to be a fireman, you got to go to If you want to be a soldier, you got to go to the army. This is how you do it. There's no right or wrong or one way. There's a million ways to do it.
Like, you probably noticed that a lot of like bedroom DJs making contents on TikTok and got big.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like,
exactly.
Do you suggest new people make a lot of contents like that to, you know?
I wouldn't suggest that because it's not something that I know much about. You know, I've never been on TikTok. I don't have a TikTok.
Or even Instagram Reel.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I focus on Instagram because that's what works for me.
True.
You know, I'm not saying don't do TikTok. I know so many people that found a lot of success in it. I don't do it because it doesn't work for me.
Ian Asher?
Yeah, I don't do it because it doesn't work for me. So just because it doesn't work for me, it doesn't mean it's not going to work for someone else. You have to find what works for you.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we seem to forget that Justin Bieber got discovered, I think, on like MySpace or YouTube.
Something like that.
Something like that. Back then it was, by Usher. So you have to find what works for you. You know, I can only tell my story and what worked for me and what's working for me and what but I'm always looking to learn, you know, just because I'm not in TikTok right now doesn't mean I might not change my mind tomorrow or next week or next year. I'm not.
I didn't know I'm doing podcasts.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're doing a podcast right now, which is great because you're going to bring in all these people and you're going to get to have the conversations with them and you're going to learn.
I'm learning.
Yeah, you're going to learn things that, because, you know, it's, again, as long as you're learning, you have to learn. And we're so lucky and blessed that we live in a world where you don't have to go to school to learn anymore.
True.
You can learn. You can learn everything on the internet. You can learn everything from other people doing it. There's podcasts. There's everything. There's so much. You know, like I was watching the movie Seven the other day, and Morgan Freeman was in a library to solve a case. You know, nobody goes to the library anymore to like, I mean, the movie was in 1995. Nobody goes to the library anymore to do any, some people still do for school and all that stuff, but like, if you want to become a DJ, you're not going to go to a library.
True.
No, you're going to go on Instagram, you're going to go on YouTube, you're going to watch all this stuff. You know, I taught myself how to DJ. So I taught myself how to DJ just by watching people play at clubs and festivals and all that stuff.
Practice.
And go home, go to 1001 track list, see what they played, download all the songs, recreate the set. You know what I mean? Go to the club, apply it, do the same thing.
I did the same way, learn by myself. It took me 3 months to have the sound out from the speaker. It's really hard. There wasn't much going on. But right now, you know, I provide, you know, mentorship for, you know, new people, and I can onboard them very quickly.
I love what you're doing. I love, because the thing is, teachers are also the best students. When you're teaching, you're also learning.
I do,
You know, I'm sure you learn a lot from being a teacher. Like I've had a lot of students over the years, and that I've taught how to DJ. That went on and have some never became a DJ. Some just wanted to learn to learn. Some went on to become successful DJs. You know, but they never, you know, there was never like a moment where when I was teaching someone and I didn't feel like a student myself. You know, when I'm teaching, I'm also learning. And again, that's, you know,
100%.
It keep coming. It's like a circle. You keep coming back to the basics, to the fundamentals. Learn. The second you think you made it is the second you're gonna start going down.
Now you're at a point where, you know, I would say the most established DJs in your city. What do you not like about this lifestyle? I mean, I can go on.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some toxicity, like you said, to it, you know, but it's mainly because it's nightlife. You know, they say the best sleeping hours are from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. Those are when doors open and doors close. You know what I mean? So I definitely, you know, have noticed that like over the past like year or two, I've been pushing myself to go to bed earlier. You know, it's a lot easier said than done because your body is so. When you DJ 3-4 times a week until 4 o'clock in the morning and you get home at 5, you're for years, and I mean I've been just doing it for years. It's very difficult for my body to shut down
quickly,
early. You know what I mean? It's very hard for me to go to sleep before 2 a.m.
I still have a day job. It's like, you know, jet lag every week.
Yeah, I can't do that. I don't know how you do the whole J job thing. I give him
Sunday.
I give this man props. I give him props.
Sunday, don't text me on Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday. Yeah, but see, like I can't. That's why I chose nightlife because I know I'm not a morning. It's such a commonly said thing. Oh, I'm not a morning person. I'm really not. You know, I'm really not. I get most of my work done in the afternoon, in the evening, and most of my creative work I do at night. I have something about, like if I'm sitting down working on like edits and mashups and remixes and whatnot, most of the best stuff I ever made has always been at night, just because I feel like after midnight, there's something about like the quietness of the night that kind of just makes me, you know, focused.
Yeah.
You know?
100%, yeah. So talking about like, you know, some advice for new DJs, do you recommend or do you suggest playing for free at first?
There's nothing wrong with playing for free.
I agree.
There's nothing wrong for it's not what you look at as playing for free. I look at it as an investment.
Getting experiences.
Yeah, you know, some experiences you have to do for free, pro bono. But it's not for free. What is free?
You get contents out of it.
Yeah. If you're getting content and if you're getting knowledge.
Networking.
And if you're getting networking, then you're not playing for free.
Yep.
You're getting something in return. You might not be getting money in return, but what you don't realize is that experience and that knowledge and that exposure and that content
will get you far.
Is what's gonna build you towards a gig that's paid. You know, so it's not really paying for free. Playing for free is going somewhere and playing, and no one's taking any pictures of you, no one's taking any videos of you, no one is recognizing what you're doing. But that doesn't happen. You know what I mean? Anywhere you go to play, someone's gonna take a picture of you, or if no one's doing it, then make sure somebody's there with you to do it.
True.
You know what I mean? You get booked, bring a friend along. Hey, take as many pictures and videos of me from all angles of the club. The more the merrier. You know, in that particular situation, that's where you need 200-300 pictures and videos. Because then you have all that content, you can filter through it and do that. But like for me, I can't do that anymore. Like I need my 10 pictures and that's it. And I'm willing to pay for it. I have no problem doing that, you know? But again, you know, if you want to get results you've never done before, you got to do things you've never done before. You got to get out of your comfort zone. You got to do different things.
Yeah, I tell all the new DJs, if you want to stand out, reach out. Of course, you know, be very
Get out there. Yeah, get out there.
Be a very good DJ.
Go out.
And offer to play for free.
Yeah,
that will stand out.
That's it. Yeah, it does. It does. It's unfortunate, but it does stand out. I'll do it for free.
Yep.
And you know what I mean?
And also like make a point that you can bring people.
Yeah, exactly. Make a point that you can bring people, or you can bring content, or you could do something. If you're just showing up, I just want to play music because I like it,
and pay me, then it's not gonna work.
You know, it's not gonna work. You have to. It's like it's business. It's supply and demand.
Right.
Yeah, that's all it is. You got to recognize what is the demand right now. What are the clubs looking for?
Right.
The clubs are looking for DJs that can bring people.
Yeah.
That's the nature of the market. That's what it is.
Their business.
You can go. That's where the stream is going. You know, it's an ocean. It's going this way, so you got to go with it.
Yeah.
If you want to go the opposite direction, you're just making it harder on yourself.
Yeah.
You know. Again, there's so many different ways to succeed. You just have to find a way that works for you.
True.
You know what I mean? You can, and the best way to do it is to try every single way.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: go play a gig, do it for free, bring people. If it doesn't work out, don't do it again. If you don't like it, don't do it again. If you feel like it didn't help your career, go do TikTok, go do something else, go produce music, go There's so many ways to do it.
True.
You know, and I think that's the beauty of it, is that if there was only one way to do it, it would actually be much harder, because then you have everybody doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Everybody's already competing. There's always going to be competition, but everyone is competing in different ways. Everybody's bringing different things to the table.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Box. Like for me, I have to stand out, because I'm doing the magic show with me when I headline.
Yeah,
like that's something no one.
Shout out to Josh.
That's something no one can see. I'm doing a different magic show each time. Yeah, that's something just
of
think
course.
About it.
Yeah, of course. But that's the beauty of it, is that you're bringing something different to the table.
Yeah.
You know, you want to sit at the table, you got to bring something different. Yeah. You know, if we're it's like, you know, when you have a party, you bring chips, you bring that, you bring this, you bring that. If everybody brought chips, okay, what are we gonna drink? Nobody brought booze? Doesn't work. You know, I think it's important to recognize, but you also have to play to your strengths.
True.
You know, bringing people is not easy. Bringing people, some people just can't do it. It's very stressful for them. They can't promote. I can't promote. Okay, you can't promote. You can't bring people. You got to bring something to the table.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Bring a camera and learn how to shoot content. Something. It has to be something.
Yeah.
It can't just only be music anymore.
Yeah, it's not enough.
You know, it's not enough. It's not enough. That's the nature of it. That's what it is. Music alone by itself is not enough. And think about it. Imagine you book Tiesto or John Summit and nobody shows up. It sounds crazy, right?
What?
Imagine.
That's
Then you're gonna be like, wait a minute, we paid all this money and nobody came, or only 50 people came, or only 100 people came, which are low numbers for those guys.
Yeah.
Like, those people draw themselves.
Right.
Granted, they're operating on a much bigger scale, but we're not asking you to bring 500 people.
Oh, yeah.
Bring just enough for the tier and the scale that you're at. You know, 10, 15, 20 people, 30. See, like, bring 10, 15, 20 people, it's all right, it's cool. Yeah. But what you don't realize is that when you start with 10, 15, 20 people, it's only going to grow from there. You know, the first time I DJed, I think I brought like 30, 35 people. Second time I DJed, I brought 4. Third time I DJed, I brought 2. And I was like, wait, why is it going down? What's going on? What I realized is that I was promoting to the same people. Remember what I said? Like, you're lucky if your friend comes out once a month.
Right.
So that's why it's important to meet new people constantly. But I recognize that some people are just don't have that personality. They're not as outgoing as you and I are. Right. They don't make friends. They're very, I guess, introvert. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. Find someone who's an extrovert, who's going to do the promoting for you. Right. Offer them a part of what you're making. Structure the deal in a way that's beneficial to both of you. Yeah. You know what I mean? Right. You got to recognize what you're missing, and you got to find a way to fill that gap.
Yeah.
You know?
I have a question. So imagine a DJ, play for free for a long time, got a fan base, very good. Now he's getting paid. And now how does he negotiate the pay in the future going forward? How do you deal with, talking to clubs, the deals? That's I'm curious myself.
Well, I mean, then now we're talking business. Business is essentially, you have to know it's the constant battle between your rate and the club's budget.
True.
And what you just have to accept is that no matter where you go, 99.9% of the time, your rate is going to be here, and the budget for the club is going to be always going to be lower.
So ask for more.
Ask for more, so you can
meet in the middle.
Gotcha. That's that's simple business. If you want to make $10, ask for 20.
It's really hard.
Ask for 15.
I think it's easy to negotiate with a new club, but let's say you play a marquee for like 10 years, it must increase at some point. And how do you deal with that? Like, once you're already playing somewhere, at what point should I ask for more, and what should I bring to the table?
That's for you to decide. That's something you're gonna. There's no you can ask today or you can ask next year. You can ask whenever you want, whenever you feel like it's time for you to make more money. Because here's the thing, and I tell my girlfriend this all the time: no one's gonna give you a raise on their own. No one's gonna be like, "Hey, you've been doing such a good job. Let me give you some more money." That doesn't happen. You want more money, you gotta ask for it.
And you build yourself.
But you have to know how to ask for it. You have to ask for it in a way that it's like you gotta put that person in a position where they have no choice but to give you that more money or meet you in the middle. You know what I mean? And it comes back to one of the most important thing in business is leverage. Right. When you have leverage, you have everything. You know, if someone can give you something that you can't get on your own, you're gonna pay them whatever they want for it. True. You know, it's all about leverage again. But see, like it's one big puzzle with so many different pieces. You know, if you want to go to a club and ask them to pay you for more money, okay, what should they pay you more money? What do you bring into the table? True. You know, if it's the same thing. Granted, we live in a time where everything costs 3 times more, so you can start there. Everything costs 3 times more, so I need to make 3 times what I used to make. But again, you can't just come out and say that by itself. You have to balance it out with other things. You know what I mean?
Let me see if I'm missing any topic.
I love that we kind of just streamed through the whole thing without even like.
Yeah, I think we covered mostly everything that I prepared. Yeah. I think it's a really nice talk. I learned a lot from you, man.
Of course. Thank you for having me. This was great. Awesome.
Very nice. Yeah.
Nice.
I have a question for both of y'all.
Yeah. What is it?
What's the craziest thing you seen when you were playing?
Oh, shit.
You can say.
That's a great question.
What's the craziest thing?
Yes, seen a lot,
That you see in the audience. Say it's a festival, it's a craziest thing that you could see.
All right. We're going to close out with this. This is going to be beautiful. I'm going to give you my So the one thing that DJs obviously hate the most is requests.
Oh, yeah.
We hate requests. We hate requests simply because they're just... It's never a song request is never what you're playing. Anybody requesting music, it's very rare, very, very rare when someone asks you to play something that's within the realm that you're playing. Okay, no problem. We always, have different ways of but sometimes people ask for things that are just absolutely ridiculous. And there was one time I was DJing, and it was a late night party that had an early party. And I had just started, so the room was already busy, So when I start, since there's already people that've been there and there's a DJ before me, I started with some high energy. So everybody's dancing, having a good time. This guy comes up to me, drunk out of his mind, hammered. He's in a suit. He's clearly been out for way too long. And he's like, bro, you gotta help me find my belt. And mind you, I'm DJ. I'm like, what? He's like, I'm gonna give you $100. I want you to go on the microphone and tell everyone here, if you find my belt, I'm gonna give them $100. And I just stopped for 1 second.
First of all, why did he miss the belt?
I was like, okay, first of all, first question. I'm like, why did you take off your belt? He goes,
you have a whole conversation with him?
At this point, I had to. He's like, I was just dancing and I just took it off. Shit. I'm like, I need you to tell me what exactly that I played that made you want to take off your belt, because I'm deleting this song from my library and never taking this chance ever again. It's crazy.
Yeah, speaking of which, so when I played at Nebula once, 2 people bought 20 bottles of Dom Perignon. And asked for one song, a very old Chinese song. I think it was about a warrior or whatever. No one had that song, and I think Mike Williams, a huge EDM artist, just finished I'm Closing Out, and the management told me to have to play that song out. So we pulled out Spotify and aux to the club system to play that one old Chinese song out after Mike Williams. And I was hiding it. I don't want people to think
I don't blame you. I mean, well, what does that come back? Again,
20 bottles. Leverage.
It's
so funny, yeah.
Leverage is leverage. When you have leverage, you have leverage. Listen, it is what it is. It's the nature of the game. It's what it is. Is it right? Is it wrong? Who am I to tell? Right. Is it annoying? Of course it's annoying. Management asks you to play it, but I guarantee you in the back of the mind, they don't want you to play that, but they have to keep the customer happy. Yeah. You know what I mean? But that's the problem, is that there's no way to draw the line.
True.
You know what I mean? If that customer asked for somebody to jump on and play the flute, they're going to find a flute and you're going to play the flute. That's what it is. That's just what it is. But that's why we said the way you play a nightclub is different than the way you play a festival. That's why it's important in a nightclub. And I'm not saying go download every old Chinese songs and Moroccan song and folk song that exists. You know, it's important to have that range. Right. It's very, very important to have that range. And at the end of the day, when you're playing a nightclub, you are playing what the crowd wants. Mm-hmm. You are playing what the highest spending person wants. Right. That's what it is. Yeah. That's what it is. Because those 20 bottles is how the club is paying you.
True.
That's it. That's what it is. Huh?
I need to get paid more that night.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it, but see, that's what it is.
I should tell him, yo, I can play, but give me $200 more.
Listen, man, I always think the best way to get DJs to play whatever you want, just give them a little donation in their hands. You know what I mean? Come correct. If you're going to ask for a song,
actual work,
you know, make a donation, come correct. You know, how much it is, that's up to you. How badly do you want it? That's it, you know.
20 bottles, yeah.
I mean, whatever. But see, again, there's no like, line, right. You know, it's not like you go to be a cop. This is what you have to do. Right. You're in the army. This is what you have to do. It's nightlife. It's DJing.
True, yeah.
We're all still figuring it out. Yeah. You know, and we're never gonna figure it out.
Yeah, it's a great conversation, man.
Yeah, man, this was great. Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you for having me.
All right, very good.
Awesome.
This is fun. Yeah.
This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we never check the topics and we cover everything. Yeah.
You're sitting with a pro.